Hey viewers, I am Avatar Not 4 here with another video. In this video we will be reviewing and giving our input about Avatar The Last Airbender Book 1 Water, which is the first season. Today we have a special guest, my brother.
Yes, I am here joining to help review Book 1 of Avatar. You can check out my channel as well, USA Rugby 9. It's also the two of us strictly doing reviews of all kinds of movies. If you'd like to check out a review of The Last Airbender and that Shyamalan's failure from 2010, there will be a link provided below, so feel free to check that out.
Okay. So, in pretty much the plot of this series, just to get you kind of into the world, there are 4 nations: air, water, earth, fire. And in these 4 nations, there are people called benders who can manipulate one of the 4 elements, air, water, earth, fire, to do whatever they want, really. But living with them, there's also people just like you and me, just regular people. But out of all people, there is only one person who can bend all 4, making he or she the Avatar. When one Avatar dies, they are reincarnated into the next nation in the Avatar cycle, air, water, earth, fire. And their job, pretty much, the Avatar's job, is to keep peace and balance and resolve conflicts and keep everything balanced and good in the world. Yeah.
Stable. It's a good word to use.
This book, the Avatar disappears and the world goes into chaos. The Fire Nation takes over everything and starts a war.
And you're introduced to this current incarnation of the Avatar, Aang, after he's discovered by 2 water tribe peasants, Sokka and Katara, and it chronicles their journey basically across the world as they're trying to help Aang achieve his destiny of learning these 4 elements and stopping the Fire Nation, who's trying to take over everything. And specifically within this first book, you have him trying to learn the next element in the cycle after air, since he is an airbender, water.
So you kind of like they travel to the Northern Water Tribe where they plan on finding Aang, a waterbending master, to teach him water bending. That's pretty much the course of the season. What it is, just them traveling from the Southern Water Tribe across the world to the Northern Water Tribe.
And it's a very good series. You incorporate a lot of these different elements into this story. It's very humorous at times. There's plenty of comic relief. It's fun, and
there's action.
You have that action and adventure sense in this fantasy world, and it's put together really well. I would say that the 2nd and 3rd season arguably are probably better than this first season, but that's simply
because in this season they're kind of introducing you to this world and the characters to get.
You've also got more characters introduced later that are frankly just better.
Yeah.
And it's more of a conflict for Aang, and you're closing in on that finale to wrap everything up. In this season, which they still do a good job in this season.
Yeah, it is still good.
You basically have these 3 figures who you're going to be with throughout the rest of this entire television series, and it's basically their meeting and them becoming friends and going off on this mission to
save the world.
Yeah, save the world, basically. Other than that, it's really, I mean, there's not much you can really say about it. Besides the fact that there is a lot of focus on this series of the Fire Nation Prince Zuko, who is basically trying to capture Aang and
restore his honor.
Yes, because he's been banished from the Fire Nation. So those are your 2 main forces clashing here. Zuko going after Aang, him trying to escape, all the while trying to learn water.
And that leads to the season 1 finale, where the Fire Nation find out that he's traveling to the Northern Water Tribe. They come up with a huge fleet of Fire Nation ships and invade the Northern Water Tribe to try to capture him. And just hurt the Water Tribe, because it's like it's one of the very few still like left in perfect condition areas around the world, because of the icy.
The Fire Nation has
Yeah.
been able to take it over,
Yeah.
which makes it appealing for Aang because it's a safe haven for him
Yeah.
almost, and he can learn waterbending there. So that their journey to get there is basically the entire scope of this first season, and you have many little offshoots of the plot along the way, but that's the gist of everything
Yeah.
that's going on. And this series, one thing that makes this series really good is incorporating the actual martial art movements
Yes.
styles relative to these different bending arts.
For an example, waterbending is based on Tai Chi, and you can
Yes.
see that through the movements.
They also had a
Which is
martial arts
really cool.
consultant who helped them in designing these and doing these
Bending,
animations that really reflect the true style behind this fictional power that comes from it. So it's really good that they did that, because it adds an element of realism to this fantasy world, and it makes it more believable. That's really one thing that makes the series so good. Also, I have one little tiny gripe about the series, though. Yeah, I find it weird that there's a lot of Asian elements incorporated into this. A lot of Chinese calligraphy and Chinese martial art behind it.
Chinese aspects.
Yeah,
Like
the Asian elements,
culture.
architecture, a lot of things in this world. Yet they use the 4 classical Greek elements. I
Well-
find that odd. It's just me, probably, but you know.
It's not that big of a deal, but
No, I think it's done really well. You don't notice that. It's just
yeah, it's just something
incorporated
that
in.
goes into your
A
head.
lot of those elements themselves are part of Chinese culture,
Yeah.
but they stick a lot around the centering of that culture, and that's really an influence from the creators themselves, who use a lot of philosophy and sociological aspects in creating this world. And it's good how they do that. It's probably one thing that probably makes it appealing to an American audience. It's not that typical cartoon that we're used to seeing. And who wouldn't want to see some action and adventure in this fictional world? And I mean, really,
It's
that's
just
just what makes it good.
neat. Yeah. There's nothing like it.
And all the while, you have these plot devices that are introduced that really get this story rolling, and you see them get paid off in the second and third season of this. And it's good. It brings the whole series together, and there's this flow through everything, and you see like this complete story coming together. That's really what you have, and it makes this story good. Even with all the horrible things that are happening because of war, all the terrible things that can happen along the way in this action story, you have this theme of friendship and love going through with these core group of characters, and
So it kind of balances out.
yeah, you have the good coming out of all this bad things, basically good overtaking evil, and shining through light, shining through the darkness. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, that's what it is. It's one of those classic stories. And another thing, one reason they do to make this good, in any good versus evil story, you know good is going to prevail in the end.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is make it hard, if not impossible, for the audience to sense how that's going to happen. And they do that with incorporating these elements of the plot, which limit. We mentioned previously how Aang has to learn these elements and stop the Fire Nation, right?
But like what makes it seem unbelievable, like he can't do this. He is told by the previous Avatar Roku that this comet is coming, and the Fire Nation plans to use it to end the war once and for all and take over everything and turn all the world Fire Nation by the end of the summer. So he only has a few months to learn like multitudes of years of teaching.
Yeah,
to learn
it's one thing
elements.
for them to be able to learn how to do this, but as soon as you're thrown in with this limited time frame in which he has to do this, it troubles the character. Yes. They don't know how he's going to do it. He has doubts himself, and that as a result of that, the audience begins to feel that, and it's like, wow, how is he going to do this? Mm-hmm. And that's how you do a story like that. It's really how you do it, and that's what makes it good. All in all, that's what makes it a great series. And a good introduction where we're introduced to these three characters and the whole plot behind it, and
that's pretty much it.
Good introduction on the part of these creators. Mm-hmm. And it sets us up for the next 2 seasons where we see the furtherment of the character all headed towards this final battle to stop the Fire Nation.
And they find new friends and new enemies along the way, which makes it pretty cool to meet new people and learn about their backstories.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this first season.
It is probably my least favorite out of the 3, but it still is really good. So,
yeah. We'll probably get you guys more videos, the 2nd and 3rd season at some point in the not too distant future. So, be looking forward to that. Again, feel free to check out my channel, USA Rugby 9. You can see the 2 of us reviewing movies. There will be a link below to our review of The Last Airbender. And so you can expect some more good things there coming up soon. See you guys later.